Today on the show, we've been talking about people who believe they are suffering from long-term effects of COVID-19. And it's something that researchers based at Southmead Hospital in Bristol are looking into. It's being called long COVID. Pamela Rose is a fatigue coach from Redfield in Bristol who's been running webinars for people who believe they have what's being called long COVID. Pamela, good morning.
Hi, Emma. Hi. Thanks for inviting me.
Before COVID, you still worked in this field, but with other aspects. Just explain what a fatigue coach is.
Yes. So before COVID, it was primarily helping people with the more chronic conditions, such as chronic fatigue or ME, fibromyalgia, and pre-COVID, post-viral fatigue.
And because I didn't want people to think that this was just a thing that you whipped up. It's very important that people understand this is your area of expertise.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And my personal experience, I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue 10 years ago. And that's what led to me, retraining and becoming a fatigue coach.
It is debilitating, isn't it? And affects all aspects of your life.
Oh, absolutely. All aspects. And your family's life as well. If you have, a partner and children, it affects everything.
So tell us about the people you've been working with during the pandemic. What are the most common symptoms that people are reporting?
It's, as we heard Mary say earlier, it really is, obviously there's the fatigue, but the signature symptom is this delayed onset fatigue. So you don't know you've overdone it until it's too late. Sleep disturbance, brain fog, we heard Mary talk about that a lot, aches and pains, and cognitive exhaustion too. So, using your brain too much can trigger fatigue. It's not just about physical exertion.
And can we directly relate that to COVID, or is it just that people are more aware of symptoms like this because we're talking about a virus every single day?
Yeah, that's difficult for me to answer, of course, as I'm not, I'm not a COVID expert.
Anecdotally,
I don't think there are any COVID experts, but I think, what I'm seeing from my personal experience is very, very similar to the sort of pre-COVID, post-viral fatigue. Yeah. And I think that, there are various viruses that can trigger this sort of fatigue, glandular fever, those sorts of things. So, yes, for people who have got the symptoms I just mentioned, it's very characteristic of the sort of standard post-viral fatigue.
So what practical advice can you offer people, Pamela?
Yeah, so basically, I felt a duty to try to get at least some key advice out to people in a very accessible way. So in these webinars, it's all about, giving the key advice, the top tips, which are things like learning what your current energy limit is. And, that's how much you can do without triggering your symptoms too much. And then really important to learn how to pace your activity throughout the day without, sticking to that limit, incorporating lots of rest. That pacing plan has to be tailored to people's individual lives because we are all different. A key message is even on the good days, you have to stick to that disciplined
don't overdo
approach.
it.
Don't be tempted to overdo it. When you wake up and you feel great, brilliant, enjoy that and be grateful, but don't let it tempt you into overdoing it. Try and find ways to manage any negative mindsets that come in as well, because it's a tough condition to have to deal with, as you can imagine, mentally. And then, do what you can to strengthen the body and help your system, drink lots of fluids, eat a balanced diet, and, don't overeat though, because of course digestion uses energy. So if you eat big meals, that in itself can, cause difficulties.
It's really interesting, Pamela. If people want to find out more about your webinars, what should they do?
You can find me by Googling Pamela Fatigue Coach, which is probably the easiest way to find my website, and then look for the events listing on there. The latest one was last night. We've got another one later this month, and we'll keep, I'll keep doing them. I should say with a colleague who's a nutrition therapist, Linda, also based in Bristol, and we'll keep doing them as long as we need to.
Thank you for being on the show. Pamela Rose, fatigue coach from Redfield in Bristol, running webinars for people who believe they have long COVID, this sort of post-viral impact of having COVID-19. And it's something that researchers based at Southmead Hospital are looking into as well, the possible long-term impact on coronavirus on patients who have had it.
BBC Radio Bristol.